G'day, welcome back to Dad vs. Son and our playthrough of the paratroops from Combat Commander. Yay! GMT and Chad Jensen. And even though I'm making mistakes, I'm having a ball. So there you go. Righto, so the Germans have moved forward. They're trying to take out these two objectives and kill off the paratroops. They've got their 105mm artillery now and have landed some up here and hurt our extra weapons team with the heavy machine gun that we got and suppressed Sergeant White. They've also taken out objectives 2 and 3 to add to 5 that they had held. A blaze has started here in the fields, and Lieutenant Lauerback and some of the other people are suppressed and broken. And we've had this guy return back up here broken as well. The Americans down here are looking pretty at the moment, but most of our firepower is now defunct with this down. And this was our main one when we got it that I was looking at taking these out. But the medium machine gun isn't doing too bad at the moment. So let's see what the Germans can do. And they finished last time with an advance, and they've picked up another artillery request, a move, a rout, a fire, and a move. Okay, so if we're going to, we don't have a recover, which is the worst bit. So I think realistically, the first thing we should do is probably fire again our mortar. And I think we need to fire our mortar up this way to block off some of the fire from this medium machine gun. So that is what we're going to do. So again, we're going to try and fire the mortar into here. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we get 6 times 2 is 12, which is wonderful. So we get some smoke up there. And let's see what we get this time. And it is 7. Ouch. Good for the Germans. Very good for the Germans. Okay, so at the moment, this bloke got a move of 1, a 1, and a 1. So there's not much sense in moving them too much. This guy can't go anywhere. He's got no movement left. I just don't know what to do. We could try and rout the heavy machine gun. It's up there for 10 though, which is a bit of a problem. So if we wanted to move people, we could move this guy into here, just trying to get him back. Which would give us, this bloke is blocked, and this has a 7. He's only firing for 7, 8, 9. So they could get a little bit of fire into here, and he's going to be knocked down a fair bit for that. If I move these, then all we've got is this firing 7 through 7, and that's not going to do anything. And this guy is out of range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I could move all these 1. That would get these off the road. So we can do that. So let's do that first. So this guy moves 1 to here. So like I said, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's out of range for 7. This guy could fire, but it's going to be 7 now. Downhill is 8. So he's going to be firing for 8 minus 7 is 1. Is that a worthwhile thing? Can they fire even if they want to? And they can. They can. And I think we have to. Yeah. Okay, so we are going to fire. The only thing that can hit him is the medium machine gun. So, yeah, 6, 7, downhill is 8, through 7 is 1. With nothing to help. 1 and 5 is 6. Okay, so we have 6 going into there. He's sitting there for 7. Plus 3 is 10, and he's fine. That's his movement done. And then these guys move 1 to here. And again, we fire for 1. Plus 5 is 6 again. And this guy's here for 9. Plus 12, we have time, and he's safe, but we still have to do lower back. Okay, so we go to time 6 of 7, and the Americans go to 20 VP. We shuffle up the German deck again. We have to remove the smoke. Okay, we're not on sudden death. We have no reinforcements. Dig-ins, the Americans have one. So, gee, I think they might use it. Okay, it's the German deck done. I was going to use it for the artillery, but I think I'll use it for the dig-in, just to save these guys. So they're going to put foxholes right here. And that is that. So again, we've got lots of fire coming down here. This guy's now here for 13. Plus 7, and he's not hit. Okay, so we've done 2 orders for the Germans. They have an advance, a move, and a rout. Do we want to move this guy? Not really now, because the machine gun will just wipe him out. I could advance this guy into here. Or do I save the advance? So let's just do the rout. And we'll try and rout the American, who's up there for 10. And we get an 11, and he is routed off the board. And there goes the heavy machine gun. Wow. Okay. So that's 1 VP for the Germans, taking it back to 19 for the Americans. That goes away. And they have one more order they can give, which is a move. Or an advance, and I don't think we're going to do that. We'll keep those. So it's 4 new cards for Herman, the German, and we are up to the Americans, who have a recover, rout, and move. And I was just about to recover him. Okay, so recover, rout, and move. Okay. I think we'll do the recover. I think it's worthwhile, even just removing that to give us one more range in any firing that we want to do. We don't want to move, but it's got a concealment on it, which is good. So we're going to try and rout the Germans as our second order. We'll do this guy first. He's here for 7. Minus 1 is 6. Plus 1 is 7. And we get an 8. And he routs 1, so he has to come back to F6 or F7, so he'll go to F7. Now we'll rout this guy here. He's there for 7. We get a 7, So he's going to be suppressed, but we have an American event first, which is deploy. You may remove an American squad from the map. If you do, replace it with 2 matching teams. And we are going to do that. So we have 2 elite teams. And we put them both here. The machine gun goes on here, and this paratroop just simply comes off. Beautiful. Okay, blah, 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 and he is suppressed. Okay, next we're going to try and do this guy, but he's there for 12. And we get a 7, good, but we have another American event, white phosphorus. You may place smoke adjacent to an unbroken American squad. So we could put it there, but we don't want to do that because that's going to block these bastards off. So no. And we have the weapons team there, the lieutenant there for 13, and we get an 8, and nothing happens there. So that's our 2 orders for the Americans, 3 new cards for them, no specials for defenders, and we go to the Germans, who have an advance, a move, a command confusion, a fire, and a recover, which is what they're going to do first. So this suppression comes off, and this suppression comes off, and this suppression comes off. Right. Okay, so let's try and do Lowell back first. So, of course, he's there for 13. We get a 6, and he is back. We'll do the weapons team next, and he's there for 13. And we get a 3. So he's back. This little fella here for 7. A 3. And he is good to go. Oops. This guy for 7. We get a 9. He stays. And this guy for 7. And we get a 6. So he is back as well. Right. Excuse me. Okay, I would really like to do some shooting, but I can't do a lot, so I think I need to put smoke here. So we're going to fire the mortar again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to there. Firing for smoke, and we get 4 3s at 12, which is good. We don't do the duva, and we end up with smoke there. And it is a 4. Okay. So we have an advance and we have a move. So this bloke's going to be left here unless I bring him back into here to try and get him together, and then they all run forward again. Yeah. He could go 1, 2, but he can't get up here by himself. If I can get him on the other side of the blaze, then these guys have no line of sight across here. Which only leaves this that has a line of sight down to here. And he could go 1, 2, 3, 4 up to there, which still leaves him in line of sight of those, but at least he's getting there. I think it's worth it. So we're going to move. And this little fella will go 1 to here. Can the Americans fire? And they can. So, like I was saying, this guy here has range, but he's going through 4 smoke. So he'd be firing for 6 and 1 is 7. Downhill is 8 minus 4 is 4. This guy up here, range 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, out of range at the moment. So do we want to fire with this guy? We're only going to get the 1 shot, because the next time this guy moves, he's going to go through the blaze and he has no line of sight. So no, we're not going to fire. He now moves 2 to there, and now we have this guy who's in range. Like that. So he fires for 6 and 1 is 7 and 1 is 8 downhill. There is no hindrance. And we have nothing to help him. Oh, and 10. 18. And we have the wrong card being used, so forget about that. We have 8 and 4 is 12. Jeez. No good when you grab the wrong card. Okay, so we're shooting for 12. Okay, and this bloke is here for 7. And of course, I know that we've got 10 for that. He's safe, and we have a German sniper at J5, which is here. So this paratroop is hit again. And then this bloke can move 2 more, and he moves up the hill for 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We fire again for 6, 7, 8 for downhill. And again, there's no hindrance. So we have 8 and 4 is 12. And he's there for 7. Plus 8 and is good to go. And then these guys pick up and they can move 5 together. And they go 1 to here. This is out of range. They go 2 to here and out of range. They go 3 to here, and we are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, out of range. They go 4 to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in range, firing for 6, 7, 8 downhill. Plus 6 is 14. So this guy's here for 8 and 1 is 9. And 5 is 14 and he's hit. And 9 again. Plus 2 and he's hit. Who would have thunk it? Okay. So that's 3 orders. We have 1 more order to do. And I'm actually going to use the advance. And I'm just going to advance this guy into here, like that. And that is that. Okay, so the Germans get 4 new cards. And the Americans have a fire, a move, and a recover. So I think we're going to fire. And I think we're going to fire into here. So again, we're shooting downhill for 6, 7, 8. I have nothing to help with that. So we have 8 and 10, 18. That's better. Do we have anything to help those people? And the answer would probably be no, 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 and no. Okay. So this guy's here for 9. And 5, and it is gone. So weapons team and light machine gun are dead. That's 1 VP, and now they've lost both their light machine guns. And we go back up to 20 VP, for the Americans. And then again, we have 18 into here. He's there for 10. Plus 10 is 20. He wasn't moving, so he is simply suppressed. Okay, so that's our first order done. We have a recover and we have a move. So we'll just do a recover as our second. And this guy's here for 12. We get a 7, which is good, but we have the event first, which is reinforcements. Oh, that's just nasty. Okay. And we're at 9 again. And that means that we can probably get back our heavy machine gun. Oh. 9 on the American table. Looking down here is a line. Oh, look, a heavy machine gun. Yay! With a weapons team. Isn't that nasty? Hey, bloody Americans, they've got everything. Okay, so we have a heavy machine gun with a weapons team again, and we're going to put them back into exactly the same spot. And that is that for the Americans. And they get 4 new cards. Okay. And then we have the Germans with 2 command confusions. Advance, route, artillery request. No recover. Okay. They've got nobody they can route. So it comes down to advance and artillery request. So again, we're going to do an artillery request, or we're going to get rid of these 4 cards. And I think this time, again, we need to get rid of those 4 cards. So 4 new cards for the Germans. If we had have had 1 recover, then it would have been worthwhile to try. Okay, so the Americans have got a move, an artillery request, a command confusion, and a move. So we're actually going to do a move as our first order of business, and we're going to move our weapons team into the foxholes. In which case the Germans can fire if they wish. They have range and line of sight with the heavy machine gun. They have range and line of sight with this rifle. And that's it. Let's see if they have a fire and then work out if we want to do it. And they have a command confusion, an artillery request, a route, and 1 fire. So they would be firing for 8. And that's it. But I think it's worth it. So they are going to opportunity fire. So firing for 8. And they're going to use their sustained fire for it. Gives them 10. Even though that's their advance I was keeping. And they have 10, and 9 is 19, which is a pretty fair amount of firepower. 19 into here. So the weapons team is 7, 8, 11. I'm not going to add anything to that. So we have 11 and 9 is 20. The weapons team is safe. We have the paratroop for 8, 9, 12. And 5, and he is hit. And we have Sergeant White up there for 11 and 7, and he is hit, but we have an American event first, which is Fog of War. Each player places 1 card at random from his hand in discard. Okay, so he's hit. Righto, Germans first. We'll shuffle up their cards. And they're going to lose an artillery request, which leaves them with an artillery request, a route, and a command confusion. And the Americans have these 3 cards. And they're going to lose their artillery request, which leaves them a move and a command confusion. Okay, so that worked out fairly well for the Germans. Excuse me. So the next thing that we are going to do is a move. And I am going to activate the lieutenant here. And this guy is going to move back to here. And this guy is going to move forward to here. And now we have a full... I can't do that. No, 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 no. Because I'd be overstacked. Ooh. Okay, so we're going to move this guy down. And he's just going to go 1, 2 into there. And they don't have anything to fire with. That's it for the Americans. 1, 2, and 3 for them. And the Germans are down to a rout, command confusion, and artillery request after firing and stuff. So they are going to do an artillery request. And they're going to try and bring fire up here and knock these guys out. So from the sergeant here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to try and put it there, so it's for 4. We get 10. It's targeting roll, so we don't do that. And then it goes in direction 2 and direction 5. So direction 2 is this way, and direction 5 is right back here, and we take out these guys. Okay, so we're going for 10 plus 5, 15. Not as good this time. This guy again is in here for 7, and 3 is 10. Plus 7, he's good, and we have an event which is hero, but he's already out there, so forget about that. The paratroops is in here for 12. And he's fine. But again, wrong bloody card. He's fine, and there's nothing. And we have Sergeant White in there for 12. And he's fine as well. Okay. So that's the artillery done. So they're going to try and rout the Americans. So they're going to try and rout him first. He's there for 12. It's just to get rid of the card. And we have an event. And the event is Prisoners of War. Eliminate 1 broken German unit adjacent to an enemy. We don't have anybody adjacent, so no. And then routing this guy who's there for 12 as well, and nothing happens. And the Germans get 5 new cards. Right. And we're over to the Americans, who finished with a command confusion and picked up a recover, a move, and a command confusion. Okay, so this time we are going to move first and do what I wanted to do. So this guy is going to move back here. Can the Germans fire? And they can. So they are going to opportunity fire. They're going to fire with their heavy machine gun into here. So again, 8 plus 1 is 9 for downhill. And they are going to... That's it. Yep. Oh, no. And we're going to bore sight it. Oh, no, that's defenders only. So 8 plus 1 is 9. Plus 4. 13. Okay. So this guy's in here for 10. Plus 8 is 18, is fine. And the paratroop's in there for 11. And 4 is 15, and he is fine. Okay. Then the paratroop is going to move forward to here. And they fire again for 9 into there. Plus 6 is 15 this time. And the weapons team is there for 7, 8, 12. Plus 7, he's fine. And we have an American event. Breeze, removal smoke markers. Yay! Oh, did I factor in the smoke there? Was there a need? I forgot it was there. No, there was no need, so that's okay. Okay. So he's fine. Then we have 8, 9, 12, and 6 is good, and 9 and 3 is 12, and 10 is good. And that is our move over and done with. So that goes away. And we have a recover then for the Americans as their second order. We'll do Sergeant White first. He's there for 12. We get a 6. And he pops back up out of the foxholes going, well, what happened? And the paratroops pop up as well and go, well, stuffed if I know. There was a big bada boom, and that's the last thing we remembered for a little while. And the weapons team just shakes their head and says, you're a bunch of dickheads. Wakey, wakey, boys. And that's all the Americans can do. And they get 2 new cards. And the Germans have a recover, a fire, a move, and a command confusion. Okay, so what I'm thinking is this bloke can't move at all. An advance would have been wonderful. I would have chucked him into here. I woulda, but I can't. But I'm going to have to recover him anyway, but I need to use a fire or a move. So again, I'm going to fire. I'm going to fire the mortar again, down to here, try and lay down some more bloody smoke. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 4 4s are 16 is good. We get some smoke there. Oh, it's a 10. That's what we've been looking for. Okay. So we've done that. Now we are going to go for a recover. So we'll remove this. And he's there for 10. We get a 7, which is good, but we have an event first, which is Blaze. Another Blaze in a random, and it's now in A7 as well. So we have a Blaze here. Ooh, nasty. Okay, so he is recovered. And we do the recover on him, and he's there for 7 plus 1 is 8. And that's no good for him. And then we are going to do a move. And we're going to move 2. Now, let me get this right. If we go into there, yes, he can see. So it's either we jump in there or I jump them back into here. And nobody can see them there. I don't believe, because this is coming through 10 smoke. And he can't see there because we have the blind hex there, and we have the blind hex from the fire there. Okay, before we move, we are going to fire the machine gun. Again, 8 across to here with nothing to help. +4. Jesus. 12. Okay. So again, 7, 8, 11 for the weapons team. +8, he's fine. 8, 9, 12 for the paras. Yeah, and they're fine. And 8 and 3 is 11 for Sergeant White, and 5, and he is fine. Okay, so that didn't really work out. So yeah, we'll move, but we're going to actually try and go uphill. So let's go 2 into there. So these guys can fire down here. Again, there's no hindrance from a higher elevation. So we can fire the heavy machine gun for 8. We're at 1, 2, 3. So 8. And we can fire these separately, the paratroops separately if we want. So let's fire the paratroop first. So he's going to fire for 6, and 1 is 7, and 1 is 8 downhill. And we're going to use a crossfire on that. Oh, no, we're not, because we can't fire. Forget about that. I don't know what the hell I was doing. So he's gone 2 to there. He goes 4 to there. And lower back goes 1, 2, 3, 4 to there as well. Now, these guys do not have line of sight anymore. These guys do, but don't have range. And these guys do, not because of the blaze. And that's the end of that. And Germans get 5 new cards. 3, 4, 5. We'll do the American turn and we'll call it there. So the Americans have 2 command confusions, a move and a rout. Okay, so they don't want to move. They don't want, there's nobody to rout other than this young fella, which I don't think there's much sense. So we're just going to get rid of all 4 cards. They get 4 newbies. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got a couple of things on there. Okay. And that's it for this turn. So the Germans have now lost 4 of the 9 units that they can afford to lose. The Americans have lost 2 of the 6 they can afford to lose. The Germans have lost 2 light machine guns, and the Americans have lost a heavy machine gun. We have a blaze here which could affect these people. We have a blaze here which could affect these people at the moment as well. We have 10 smoke here at the moment, which is very, very good for the Germans, but they need to get some more there. We've consolidated up here and got another new heavy machine gun into the foxholes with the light mortar, the paratroop squad, and Sergeant White. We've consolidated here, so we've got a full team ready to go. We've got our hero down to with these paratroops now. And I can now bring this guy down to here as well, and then we can form fire groups against this guy. So that's the way things are looking. The Americans are on 20 victory points and still hold the only 2 victory point objectives, and they're worth 5. So if the Germans could take both of them, then that would be 10 victory points the Americans would lose effectively, which would still leave the Americans on 10 victory points. But if we can get some artillery falling well into some of these positions, then we may be able to kill them off without actually and basically get the Americans to surrender. So I think in future what we're going to be doing is, if we're going to be firing off artillery, we'll start firing them at here, because they don't get the extra that the foxholes do for artillery. So that will be good. The only trouble is it could spread back down here. The other place to fire is over into this guy. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. And the Americans would love to start firing some artillery, but they haven't had any chance. And if they could lay some artillery in here, that would be very handy as well. Okay, so thank you again for watching, and take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now. G'day all, welcome back to Dad vs Son and our playthrough of Combat Commander, the paratroop pack, and we are back for the Germans who finished with a command confusion last time. And we're at time 6 of 7 with not much to go, and the Americans on 20 VP. And the Germans have picked up a fire, a command confusion, a recover, and an artillery request. Right, so let's see if we can get some artillery firing. We need to try and knock some Americans out. Now, we'll do the artillery first. And it's going to be a dangerous one, but I've got to try it. So Sergeant Bierman is going to call artillery in on here. Okie dokie. So it's at range 2. And we get there, and now let's see where it goes. And it goes 6-2. Okay, so 6 is this way, and 2 is this way, so it's going to hit here. Okay, so it hits for 10. Oh, plus 12 is 22, but that is time. So, first things first. We shuffle up the German deck. Okay, there it is. We go to sudden death. We'll cut the deck. Oops. And the Germans need a 7 or more and don't get it. And that is the end of the game. Ta-da! Well, that was bloody quick, wasn't it? 2 minutes. I was really hoping to take these guys out with the artillery and the heavy machine gun fire and everything else, and then at least get up into here. Wow. Bugger for the Germans. Fantastic for the Americans. So I'll just get rid of these cards out of the way, and we'll just have a look at how we finished up. So the Germans were doing it hard, but they got up into here and took these two. We finally got some blokes up into here who were ready to try and come around and at least do something here. It was going to be extremely difficult, but they were going to try. The Americans were sitting pretty. Being able to pick up a heavy machine gun twice and pick up the line squad that was originally down here in Objective 2 made life a lot easier for them, that's for sure. But they held well, and I think the placement of the Americans did help immensely, even though it did leave this area liable to be hit by lots of smoke. But yeah, I didn't really see a better way of setting it up other than, you know, sticking a whole swag of people up here in foxholes and then just placing some people here. It just didn't... I needed to spread them out a bit just because of the oncoming artillery. So if we have a look over here, the Germans lost 2 squads, a leader and a team, 2 light machine guns, and the Americans ended up losing a squad, a team, and a medium machine gun. So if, you know, they were nearly even in losses due to their surrender values. The Americans were slightly ahead. not having any secret objectives really hurt the Germans. I was really hoping to pick up one for them, which would have given them some victory points for these 3 that they held, but it just wasn't to be. By the same token, I forgot to keep using this -2 on their targeting rolls, but I don't think it actually ever affected the artillery that much anyway, so it didn't really mean much in the end. So this scenario, all told, it's an interesting map. It doesn't give a lot of options to the attackers or the defenders. The attackers have a lot of ground to cover with a small force, and the Germans, the defenders have a lot, and the attackers have a lot of ground to cover in the open, even though they were numerically superior. So, yeah, I don't think there's much more we can say about it. So what one have we got next? If we have a look-see here. So that's all done. That was June then. So the next one will be... well, it's 27 and 28 are both on the 10th of June. So that is either the Carentan Causeway or no Ingolf around, which was Monsieur Ingolf's farm. So, yeah, it's the same regiment, it's the same battalion and all the rest of it, so I just don't know. I think we'll just do scenario 27 next, Carentan Causeway, which again puts the Americans out with a lot of dead ground, but they significantly, well, not significantly, they outnumber the German forces, that's for sure, and all the German forces will be in foxholes. But the Americans will have a 155mm artillery radio ready to blast out and cause murder and mayhem and destruction. So thanks for coming along. Again, I think I'll just add this video onto the last video because it's only short and go from there. So take care, be good, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.